Good morning, everyone. It's Kathy Champion, and you're back in my craft room here at Random Acts of Crafting. And I'm so excited today about this project that I'm going to bring you. Of course, it's another card. I am working on some 3D projects that I want to do, but until I can get some of the kinks kind of worked out of it, we are going to be doing more cards. We always need cards, and I am sorry, but I am trying to turn my TV off, and for some reason it did not want to go. All right, but we always need cards. We always need cards of encouragement, thank you cards, birthday cards, anniversary cards, and get well cards. And every now and then, unfortunately, we need sympathy cards. Today, the card that I want to bring you is going to be kind of an encouragement card, a thinking of you kind of card, and I think that this is going to turn out beautiful. I chose this. This is one of the end colors in Stampin' Up. I'm mixing my products because I can do that until I go back into Stamping Up. So I'm mixing some contraband, so to speak. This striped paper is from a pack that I've had for a while, and I am pairing it with Flowers for Every Season, which is a Stampin' Up pattern paper for this year, and this paper is gorgeous and I love it. I need to pick up some more of this before because I've used quite a bit out of the pack, and I love it. There's so many different flowers, but look how summery. This just screams summer to me. And the Just Jade, which is one of the new in colors for this year, look how perfect it pairs with the colors in here. Look at that green, and it pairs beautifully. So I made my card base, and what I did is I cut a piece of 8.5 by 11 in half at 5.5, and then I scored it at 4 1/4, and that's going to give us a perfect little A2 size card, which is perfect for us crafters. Now I know this is 4 1/4, so I'm going to cut all my pieces at 4. So I'm going to cut 2 inches off of this because I want the bottom portion to be 2 inches, and I want it to run this way. So therefore I'm going to cut it like this, and you'll see what I'm talking about. I'm going to bring this over to 2 inches and slice, and then I'm going to put it in the other way and cut it at 4. And this will give me the perfect bottom that will sit right here with that tiny little bit of green showing around it. This is going to be the bottom portion of our card. Now up here, I'm going to get my ruler because I'm kind of designing this as I go. And the piece up here, I want it to overlap about 1/4 inch. And let's see if we do it from there to there. It's going to be about 3 1/8. So let's go be 3/8. I'm sorry. That would be about 3 3/8. So let's go to 3 1/2, and 3 1/2 is going to give us just enough to lap over a little bit, and we can still have that little border at the top. So we're going to cut this one at 3 1/2, and I'm paying attention to my orientation because I don't want my flowers to be sideways. And then we're going to turn it, and we're going to cut this at 4 because we know it's 4 inches wide. And now this piece should fit up here with just a tiny bit of an overlap, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it underneath that piece and bring it down. Another way that you can do this to get your exact measurement of the 5 1/2 would be bring this over top, put it on your mat, and bring it up to 4 1/4. And you can pretty much be sure that if you do that, we can run some tape runner right here. So let me get my, and I'm still using some of my my snail that I had left over. So I'm going to use it and just barely put, oops, am I all out of this? I don't think so. Well, oh, I think I know what happened. It seems like, there we go. it seems like it got over just a little bit. So I am going to just bring this down like that. Nope, there we go. So what I did is I just put enough on here so that I can hold this right here. And I want this piece to go to 5 1/4. Oh, right there. 5 1/4. So that looks like that's going to be a good fit. And this is just a good way of being able to put your paper together and know that you're getting the measurement that you want. So now if I put this on here, I'm showing perfect across there. Let's see, maybe just a little bit up on that side. Oop, that's not good. Alright, let's try this again. Alright, I'm going to hold it right here. I'm going to bring this down to 5 1/4. And I'm going to try to make sure that I'm keeping it straight. You want to make sure you're keeping it straight on this line as well. And then that gave me a nice piece. Now when I put this on my card, we're going to have the right amount of border all the way around, and that works perfectly. Now this is a good way. Now I see that I'm off just a tiny bit right there, but that's okay. When we put something else over top of this, nobody's going to see that because I'm going to actually wrap this in it with a piece of ribbon. So before we go any further, I am going to need a couple more pieces. I need some Whisper White or just some white cardstock, and I need to grab a couple stamp sets. Let me do that and I'll be right back. Okay everybody, I am back, and what I have done is I pulled a couple of stamp sets. I pulled Jar of Flowers, and from the flowers, because you get 2 photopolymer stamp sets. One is your jar and a little designer border edge, and then you also get your flowers, your stems, and your jar lid. So I pulled out this particular bouquet right here, and this is the one that I want to use today. And I also pulled out Celebrate Sunflower, and I think this is just really cute, and I love the sentiment, know that you are loved. You could also make this thanks and put thanks a bunch, and with the flowers it would be so cute. We might go that way and let this be a thank you card. Congratulations on reaching a whole new level of wonderful. That is great too. There's some great sentiments in these stamp sets, and it's so nice to have stamp sets that have a variety of sentiments that's included. This one also has the dies that go with it that cuts out your sunflowers, your leaves, your middle, and some little sprigs. Just love it when I get dies with a stamp set. Now the Jar of Flowers, it comes with a punch that actually punches your jar, and we're going to do more with that because I have a lot of ideas. I also pulled my these are the layered square dies, and in this not only do you get the regular squares, but you also get the scallop squares, which is very nice to have. So we're gonna actually be using a couple of the different sizes of these, and I'm gonna use the scalloped ones because, I mean, let's face it, scallops are beautiful. So I think the ones I want to use is probably this one, maybe a little smaller. So let's go I think this would be the one I'd want. Maybe that one and this one. So I'm going to pull those 2 dies out of my die set, and I'm going to go ahead and put these back in. I haven't had a chance to put these on my magnetic sheets yet, but that's going to be my next project to take care of. So I'm going to lay those over there. Now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and cut out, I'm thinking that I want to use that green like this. And I had a scrap piece of that. Here we go. I think what I want to do is cut the larger one out of this. So let's go ahead, let me take this to my die machine, and I'm going to cut a Whisper White one out of here, and then we still should have enough to get our piece that goes inside for our sentiment. So I'm going to grab the die cut machine and I'll be right back. Alrighty everybody, we're back, and what I have here is I have my larger square cut out of the Just Jade, and we have our smaller one that's cut out of the white. And what I think I want to do is layer them on top of each other, just like that. And also, while I was cutting, I went ahead and cut my mat that will go on the inside of our card, right about here. And we're going to play with some other things and see if we can kind of jazz that up just a little bit. But I'm going to lay that over there for right now, because the next thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and work on this piece and putting my ribbon on it. So if you remember the last time I did a card with ribbon, I cut it just a tiny bit larger or longer than I actually need. And let me get my little ribbon scissors. And so I'm going to cut this about to here. And I am going to use the method that works the best for me in putting down ribbon. Everybody has their own way of doing it, but this is what works for me. I'm going to take a little bit of my Stampin' Seal, and this one is the plus, and I'm going to put a piece let me get it going. Little piece right there and a little piece right here. And then what that's going to allow me to do is to lay my ribbon, and I'm going to hold it like this in order to do this, because I want to make sure that my ribbon gets adhered into this tape. Just like that. Then we'll turn it back over and make sure that I'm getting it. I need to go up just a little bit, so let's just move it up a hair. There we go. And then I'm going to run it across and around the other side. Just like that. And then that's giving me my perfect little area for my ribbon. Now I'm going to come back and put a little piece right there, just to tack that down in the front so it doesn't wiggle, because we don't want the front of our card wiggling. So now, in order to put this on my card, I am also going to use this, and I am going to just put some down across here. And you know, I heard so many of the Stampin' Up! Demonstrators talk about the Stampin' Seal and how hard it was to learn to use it. I had that same learning curve. It takes a gentle touch to get that to come out like you want it. So what I'm going to do now, I have to decide if I want this like this or like this. And I think I am kind of leaning toward this. But before we do any of that, we want to do a little bit of stamping. So this is where I'm going to bring this little bouquet of flowers in, and I want to stamp that about like that, and I want to do it in the Memento Black. So I am going to grab my ink. I'm going to grab my Memento ink, and I am going to stamp up or ink up, and I'm going to do the whole thing because I'm not really sure just yet where I want to stamp this. And I want a nice bold image. Now, in order for this to stamp good, I'm going to bring my ratty old mouse pad back over here. And if you've been following me for any length of time, you know I've used this thing over and over and over. But I want to stamp these flowers right about here. Or maybe like this. And all you want to do is just get it down and press it. And using the mouse pad really gives you that cushion that we're lacking from our cling stamps. Now, yeah, I got ink on that, but you know what? I don't care. It's an old mouse pad that I use just in here for crafting. So I'm thinking now with this, we are going to put this like this. We're going to color those flowers, and I think this is going to turn out to be very, very pretty. So I'm going to grab out my Stampin' Scrub because y'all know how much I love this. And I did pick up some of the Stampin' Up Spray and Mist. And this is their cleaner. And I thought, well, let's try it and see how it works. I have not tried it yet. The smell that it has is not a toxic smell. It smells like soap. If that makes any sense. It just smells like soap. And it does clean beautifully. Look at that. Of course, that was Memento ink, and Memento ink usually does clean off fairly well. So, you know, I think this is going to be really cute, and I think we're going to have room enough to put our sentiment. So why don't we, while we got our ink pad out, let's grab the sentiment out of this that we wanted to use. And I think it was this one. Know that you are loved, and that will fit right there. And I think that's going to be precious. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and pull this stamp set off, or this stamp off of my block. And I'm going to bring this down where I can grab it. And like I said, with these cling stamps, you have the cushion already built into the stamp, so you really don't need to use your mouse pad. Oh, that's so pretty. So, so pretty. Alright, I'm going to move my ink back into its designated home. And I'm going to grab some colors because I really do want to, oh, before we do that, one other thing. Let's clean that stamp. And also remember, if you're using the Stampin' Scrub and you're using the cleaner, you can reactivate it just by spraying a little water. So if this dries out in between uses, you don't really have to use the Stampin' Clean. Just reactivate it with a little water and you'll get probably 3 or 4 times the use out of it. Just another way to stretch your products and make crafting a little bit more inexpensive for you and allow you, hopefully, money to buy some other pretties, because we all love our pretties. I know I do. So I'm going to peel this back, and I'm going to go ahead and put this stamp back onto my, my plastic, because I don't like my stamp sets to lay out where they can pick up debris. That will take your sticky out of them, and we don't like that to happen. So I'm going to grab some colors, and I think I'm going to go in for the Just Jade, maybe the Magenta Madness. If you notice, I'm trying to stick to some of our end colors because they are playing out in this pattern paper, as well as the Just Jade right here. And I want some Daffodil Delight. So these are going to be my Stampin' Blends that I'm going to use. And I want my roses, or they look more like camille's, but whatever they are, that looks like a rose right there. But these look like camellias, not camille's, camellias. But I'm going to start out with my lighter shade of green. And I'm just going to put down a little color right here on these leaves. And you know, you don't have to be really very particular because the alcohol markers are so forgiving. So I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to go back in, and I'm going to try putting in a little bit of darker. But I'll tell you what, let's let that dry for a minute. Let's go ahead and grab the lighter color of the Daffodil Delight, and these little flowers right here are the ones that I just want to hit with a little bit of that yellow, because I think that's going to play very well with the yellow that's in the paper, and it just gives it a nice pop of another color right there. So I'm going to do these right here, and then we're going to come back in with the dark Daffodil Delight, and I think I'm going to use this end, and I'm just going to want to spot them just a little bit. About like that. You don't have to go crazy with your blending because these are very, very small flowers, so we don't have to do a whole lot. So now I wanted the brush tip for these. The good thing about these markers, you get 2 tips on them, which makes it really nice depending on what you're doing. Let's see, I'm just going to go around. I'm going to leave the inside a little bit open so I can come back with the darker color. I love these. I think they're so, so pretty. And we're going to swirl a little bit in this one. And y'all know that about me. I get very quiet when I'm coloring. It's just one of those things about me that I usually end up being fairly quiet when I am coloring. So please forgive me. It's just one of my little idiosyncrasies. I like to be very quiet and concentrate on what I'm doing. Now I'm going in with the dark Magenta Madness. And I just want to touch into the top of the flowers. And I really want them to look almost watercolored. Just a little bit. Just about like that, and we are going to, I think I'm going to leave that open right there. It looks like it could very well be a petal, but it also looks good with it being left open. Now I am going to go back with the lighter shade, and I just want to kind of blend some of this together. Oops, I think I grabbed the dark. Nope, this is light. It looks dark when you're putting it down, but then it dries a little lighter than what you're actually seeing. So I think that right there looks really cute, and I am going to leave that little bit right there. Now what I want to do is I want to turn this over, and if you notice, alcohol markers will always bleed through your paper. Even a thicker cardstock, you will still get some bleeding. So just, be aware of that if you're using Alright, so what I want to do now is I want to set this down right in the middle of this other square. Just about like that. Beautiful. And then I'm going to let this fall down kind of to the bottom of the card. But before we go any further, I want to see if I want to make a bow. And I'm thinking that a bow would add so much to this card. And I'm wondering, do we want to do, I think like that. I really love that. And I want to put this up on dimensionals. And then maybe, let's see. Let's go ahead and pop this up. I'm going to use some of the larger dimensionals for this. And these are not Stampin' Up because I am using some of my other products as well. And I'm kind of doing a mix for right now so that I can have use up some of the things that I already have. So we'll see how that plays out for me. Now I think that's going to sit right there beautifully. Okay, let's go ahead and take these off. And now we can bring this back over and we can literally lay this into our card. Something like that. And just tap it down so that it adheres. And now I need to decide if I want to do a bow or a knot. I'm actually thinking that a little knot bow would be precious on this, and I think for that I'm just going to cut a small section of my ribbon, maybe about like this, and all we're going to do is just tie it in a knot. This is the easiest way that you can make a decoration for your card, and it does make a cute little bow. And I'll turn it over. I always like to fidget with my bows a little bit, or even my knot bows. And then all we're going to do, I'm going to trim these tails just like that. And I'm thinking that I want to put this right about here. How cute is that? Or do we want to put it up here? Oh, I like it there too. I am going to use a glue dot to put my bow down. Do I want to put it here? I'm thinking right there. Of all the places I laid it, I like it there the best. And I am going to grab my little mini glue dots because these work so good for putting down little bows. See, they're tiny. See, I don't know if you're seeing that, but see how tiny that little dot of glue is? And all you want to do is just press it into it. It picks it right up. And now you've got this tiny little piece of glue right there where you can stick your bow exactly where you want it. Look at that. Is that not precious? I love the way that looks. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and take our piece, our mat for the inside. And I told you that I wanted to do something a little bit different with that. I haven't fully decided exactly what that something different is going to be just yet. So let me take a peek at some of the things that I have, and I will be right back. Alright everybody, I'm back, and I did a little playing while I was gone because I wasn't sure exactly how this was going to turn out, but I used my ornate water dyes, and I knew that I had this one that looked a lot like the flowers on the front of this card. So even though this is a different stamp set, you know, a lot of the things with Stampin' Up! Coordinate one with the other. So I thought, let me pull that particular border die and see what it looks like when I cut it. So I wasn't sure, but I did play with it, and I wanted it to be on the inside. And this is what I got. I think I like it. I do like the fact that we're having this little border that is attached to our paper, because it cuts through the paper, not cut the paper away. So this is really neat to be able to put a little bit of decorative edging on your cards, and you could do it either way. You could do it to the bottom, which I think I like it better at the bottom. And I'm going to go ahead and find a stamp set that I want to stamp on the inside, and know that you are loved on the outside, and then thanks a bunch on the inside. And I think that will be sufficient and suffice, because I think that we can make this a thank you card as well as an encouragement card, especially if someone's done something, you know, super nice for you. How nice is it to send a card just to say thanks, and thanks a bunch. I love that. So I am going to stamp this in our Memento Black. And I do need to get a stamp block. Well, let's see. We got this one over here. I need to take that stamp off and put it back. So let's do this. I'm going to line this up on my grid line. And I'm going to pick it up. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the ink pad to the stamp. A lot of times I feel like that gives me better control. I'm not as apt to rock the stamp this way and not pick up the excess ink around the edges. So this works. So I am going to set this stamp down right about here. I'm pressing it in and lift it. And I think that is sufficient for this beautiful card. And we are going to go ahead and glue this inside, and then we can call this card done, which I love. I do want to clean my stamp. And there we go. Now all we need to do is adhere our beautiful little sentiment inside, and I'm going to use a couple of different sentiments. And I also got these little gumdrops in the mail today, and these are so cute, and I think I'm going to drop a couple of these on the front of my card. So before we stamp those out, you get some that are clear and some that have a little bit of glitter in them, and I think I'm going to opt for the ones with the glitter. And I'm going to grab a large one. And they do have adhesive on the back, which makes it really, really nice. I think I'm going to put one right here. And then let's grab the next size. And I think I want to put this one, see if I can get that one right about there. And then I think I'm going to grab one of the little bitty ones, and I'm going to drop it right about here. Doing those little 3 Yeah, I like that. I think it puts just another place to pull your eye, and that looks very attractive. So I love to be able to use a little something extra on my cards. I think it adds so much to them. Now I am going to use the Stampin' Seal on the back of this. But down here I'm going to probably use some liquid glue. And now what I want to do is, and I have a little thing here that I use for my glue. And I think for today I'm just going to take a little art glitter glue, and I'm going to put just a couple of little dabs on the end of my sponge. And I am just going to dab this, dab, 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 right across the bottom of this, just to get some glue to help that seal. And I'm going to open my card, and I am going to drop this in right about like, oops. Well, I tell you what, that Stampin' Seal is strong. When you put it down, it is down for the count. Now let's just press that in. And I see one little imperfection. One of my little holes right here still has one of the little pieces did not cut out all the way, so I just reached in and pulled that out, got it out of my way. And now look how attractive that is. And this gives you another technique to use on the inside of your cards. And I think that just adds, it just looks lacy on the inside. So I think it puts a certain amount of sparkle there. And if you wanted to, you could go back in and you could use a Wink of Stella. I like to shake my Wink of Stella before I use it. But you could very easily go in with this and just touch around the flower. You know, in those little holes. Let it sparkle. Just another little element to make this pop. Bring your eye to this. And how pretty. How pretty. And there you go. We'll let that dry. But this is our card for today. I hope that you enjoyed this, and I hope that this is something that you might like to replicate. You know, go into your stash and find something that has a stripe and a flower that looks like it would coordinate, and then pull in some of your other colors and make this happen. I'm going to also hit these flowers on the outside with a little bit of Wink of Stella, and I'm going to hold this side up while I do that, because I think this will add just a little something to these beautiful pink flowers. Isn't that gorgeous? You know, the Wink of Stella never shows up on camera, but you can definitely see it in person. It just puts a beautiful sparkle to your element. I love that. I think I'm going to do a little bit on the leaf. Why not? Let's do a little bit on the yellow flowers as well. And there we go. Now there is the Wink of Stella, and like I said, I don't think the camera is going to pick it up. A little bit right there. And then the same thing in here. It's not picking up picking it up too well, but this is gorgeous. I might have to do a little bit more glue right there. But I do love the way this card turned out, and I hope that you do. I hope that this will be something that you may try in your craft room. And just another beautiful layout. I think this turned out so pretty. Very pleased with it. So I hope you are. I hope this has been at least inspired you a little bit. You know, the inspiration that we get from one another is always fun. And you know, I did the virtual Made It Con this past week, went Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and it was a lot of fun. I do have some projects that I want to show you that that I did while I was doing that. One of them, and I did this one just this morning. This was Tracy Phillips. I took her class, Mindless Crafting, and this was one of her projects, and it was called the Shabby Chic Pocket Tag Holder. And I thought this turned out so stinking cute. We covered the chipboard, and she actually used just recycled cardboard from cereal boxes, and I think even her dog food box. But all of these were covered. All of these tags were covered. I used a little distressed ink around the outside. Let me pull out all the tags. Look at that one. Isn't that pretty? And then this one. And you've got both sides on these tags. This one I tied the little butterfly onto it. And I got a little flower coming down right there. And then this beautiful striped paper on the other side. And then the same with this. I got this beautiful green. And on this one I actually chose the note card portion of the paper so that you could actually journal on this. But you could put pictures on these. This would be a nice gift to give your grandma, a mama. This would be nice to do for someone with their pets, if they're pet parents. I know my oldest daughter, she doesn't have children, but she has 2 boxers who are her children. So this would be a nice little gift for her. One of the other things that I did at Made It Con was this, and I think I might have shown this, I'm not sure. But this was taught by Lisa Weiss at Lisa Weiss Designs, and she has a YouTube channel. And this is called the Photo Flash Box, and look how neat this is. You pull this out, and you've got all of these photo mats that hide in behind it or in front of it. And so you can put your photos. There's one there. I think they do better if you put them behind it. I think I played with this the other day, and I pulled them out. But you put photos on these. And every one of these has a photo mat behind it. So there's one. There's one. I'm going to move these and put them behind because you'll see what I mean. How much better they do falling behind. Let's see if we have one back here. We do. And one back here. And then this last one is going to go behind this one. There. And what is so neat about this, you can actually stand this up. I'll put it on my phone stand. Lisa gave away some business card holders to sit them in. But this will sit on a stand like this, and you can display it. And then, you know, somebody will see it, and they would open it up, and they would want to pull. And this was just my prototype. I want to go back in and make another one. But when you pull this, you got all of these beautiful photo mats that you can actually take out and put photos in. I think I'm going to slide that one in there. There'll be one in the front and one in the back. But look at this. And this was done with some of the stickers from the paper pack. And, I mean, just, you know, how beautiful is something like this? Look at this. Happy moments. And you can put a photo on the back. And all of these can be decorated on the front. Now, you don't want to put too much dimension on them because they are sliding into these this photo box. But I thought this design was absolutely inspiring. So I will be working on more of my projects as the time goes on. Need to pull that out and shake them down, and then it all folds right back down into that box. The little tab will stick in right there. Then you got this beautiful little top that slides in over top of it, and I decorated it both front and back, and I thought this was precious. So that's two of the things that I did. And then this morning I was playing, and I made this cute little paper dress, and this is called an origami dress, and I think these turned out so cute. I thought this was going to be a lot harder to make, but this was my second attempt. The first one was an epic fail, which usually they are, so you know, don't get discouraged if you look for one of these tutorials, and I may even bring one of these to my channel, since I saw there was a lot of people that were having difficulty with them. But anyway, that's what I've been working on. I do have a couple more projects that aren't in here that I am going to pull in, and I will show them to you next time. But as I always say in closing, I hope and pray that you are having the most fantastic day ever. I hope that you feel loved and appreciated, and I hope that you would spread your joy with other people and let them know that they are loved. There's so much hurt in this world. There's so many people that don't have the joy of knowing love like perhaps you and I do. I know I feel so blessed. I have a loving husband that takes really good care of me. And I have the love of my two puppies, and they're not puppies. In fact, today is Toby's birthday. So I think my Toby is 5 years old today, and he is absolutely my little, he's my little mess. I love him dearly. But show love to someone today. Let them know how much you love and appreciate them, how much they mean to you. Even your children. Sometimes I think our children don't fully know the depth of our love because we assume that they know. And sometimes we need to hear it back from them. They assume we know. We don't know unless we're told. So tell someone you love them today. Let your light shine in this dark world that we're living in. And as I always say in closing, let everything you do and say bring glory to our Father in heaven. And it's His desire that we love one another. It's in His Word. He tells us, you know, to love your neighbor like you love yourself. That's asking a lot, because so many of us think quite a bit of ourselves. So take that for food for thought, and God bless you. And until we craft again, know that each of you are so loved and appreciated by me. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.